Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Breaking Bells. What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Bells. Today, I am joined by the one, the only, the most amazing man in all the land, Mr. N64Josh.
The most amazing man on this island. What's going on?
How you doing, buddy? All right?
Good, dude. I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, man. Of course. You know what I realized today? I was like, dude, I talked to Josh like a week ago. We were supposed to do it last week. I got so wrapped up playing, and I was just like, I totally forgot to do a show. I just spent the whole week streaming every day. I was like, you know what? We'll do it this week. So then I was like, wait a minute. I better ask and see if he's interested. And you were like, yeah, man, absolutely. Like, no hesitation. No, like,
Right.
Let me check my schedule. Maybe. You're like, yeah, man, let's do it. I'm like, okay. That's what I love about you. You're always just like, yeah, whatever you need, Bobby. No problem.
Pretty much. Yep. That's me.
So, for those that don't know who this man is, and you got to be living under a rock, a money rock maybe in Animal Crossing. If you don't know who Josh is, just let people know what you do, who you are, how do you find you, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm a big part of the largest circus in the United States. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a Nintendo content creator. I'm the host of the Nintendo Powercast, which you can find on iTunes, GooglePlay, Spotify. N64Josh.com is where you'll find a lot of my content, and streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/N64Josh. And I, like I said, it's mainly Nintendo content. I throw in a little Xbox stuff here and there, but a lot of Mario Kart, a lot of Animal Crossing now, and yeah, whatever else is coming our way on the Switch.
The funny thing is I remember the first time you and I spoke together, and we did, I think it was Nintendo Talk Live, it might have been Nintendo Talk Live, or just an episode of Nintendo Talk, and I kind of like threw a little bit of like shots fired at you, and I was just like, yeah, man, you're like, you know, you don't do quite as much as me, that type of thing. After the show, this was after the show, this wasn't on the air, and you're like, yeah, you're right. Like, you didn't say nothing. And then next thing you know, like, the next week, I'm getting this deluge of content of, like, Josh is just going bananas. And it's like, don't ever challenge this man, because he will step it up. It is crazy. And the thing is, and I'm going to just say this, because I don't care. I could care less. You and I have the least amount of people working with us, right? In terms of, like, hey, I need this done. Could you go do this? And hey, I need this. And I think you and I do, hands down, some of the most content on the internet. Like, we are. I'm just gonna toot our own whistle or own horn for a little bit here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you do, dude. Seriously, like he brushed it off. People. He's got a couple of podcasts. He does a Twitch stream. He does YouTube. He also does. N64Josh is turning into an entire website where he's doing reviews and all that stuff. He's got a writing staff working under him now, and it's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I've been on a little bit of I've kind of scaled back a little bit because I was trying to get in, like, basically find a new job.
Yeah. And
so I had to just kind of scale back some, and it was good because it helped me to start, like, creating that team and start getting writers for N64Josh.com and start building. And even that, it's still tough because I'm the one that has to enter, to you know, create the user profile for that writer and screen and see what they're doing and how their writing style is and things like that. And so it's one of those things I'm really bad at asking people just to help or to do things, because I just don't feel, I don't know, I don't feel right about it. And but I've kind of changed my thinking somewhat, and what has happened is that all of a sudden I see all these people that are like, yeah, we want to step up for you. Yeah, we love you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so it's like, it's more like I love allowing people the chance to help out and get involved if they want to, because they're part of the vision. They understand what it is I'm going for, and hopefully everybody grows together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing people got to understand about you that I've learned in the time of our friendship is, dude, you are all about helping people and doing everything you can to uplift the person around you. And it's the most touching and amazing thing ever. Like, I think that's one thing that I try to emulate in what I do. Like, my community will tell you, like, I'll try to do whatever I can to help them and do whatever. But, like, that's, like, I look at, like, guys like you and I go, that's who I want to be like. That's the people that are, like, the content creators that I want to be a part of and around and friends with and all that stuff. And it's, like, it just, honestly, man, it's, like, I feel like such an honor to have met you, number one. But not only that, to be able to call you my friend and, like, know that, like, if I got a question and I'm really stumped on something, social media wise or content creator wise, like, I could easily just hit you up and be like, man, how does this work? And you're gonna be like, okay, here's the breakdown. And you, like, go detail. It isn't like brush off type stuff. It's like you'll spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like, just going back and forth until I get it figured out and do what I do. So, you know, I'm very appreciative of all the time you've ever given me too. So
absolutely, man. I mean, for me, it's what it's all about. We're in this together. I don't look at anybody as competition, because I don't need to. Like, if you know, and we grow together as this thing happens, and it's you know, our communities overlap.
Yeah,
there's people that are checking out both of our shows. Yeah. I had somebody leave a review on my podcast that was like, hey, I didn't know about you until you were on Bobby's show. You know what I mean?
See,
and so, like, yeah, it's just that cross-pollination. And, like, I know, like, I've spent a lot of time just teaching myself all about content creation, things like that. Yeah. And so I know that the frustration I've spent searching for stuff, not finding answers right away, things like that. So the moment I can give somebody the answer to the problem they have, dude, I'm all about it. I am all about it.
Just to go back to what you were saying about, like, the crossover. So I put up the thing on Instagram today, the picture of you and I with the quasi ad. And Kool-Aid Man 84 says, "What? Two of my favorite podcasters coming together to talk about Animal Crossing? Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming." My response to him was, "Deep breath is probably going to be a terrible idea." It's not going to be good. Trust me. Because, you know, we don't ever, like, praise ourselves. We always, like, beat ourselves up and stuff. But so listen, we're here to talk about Animal Crossing.
Wait. Let me stop you.
Okay, go ahead, stop me.
That right there's one of the things, like, when I scaled back, one of the things that I fixed a lot of was my mental health, and even doing, like, little things like that, where, like, I don't give myself such a hard time anymore.
No?
Like,
I do.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like there's no reason for it. Like, you work your face off, and people love you, and you love your people, and you're trying to bring value to them. There's absolutely no reason, because the only thing I can think of, and you know, I'll call you out right here because I love you, is if you're possibly comparing yourself or thinking, like, you keep setting the bar higher for where you need to be, man, get that bar out of there. That's all in your head, and you're doing amazing. Thank you. You just keep those negative thoughts elsewhere. Like, we need a new garbage can in Animal Crossing that we can toss stuff in, right? Those negative thoughts can go right there.
Damn, man, now you make me feel bad.
Don't feel bad, feel good, because you're amazing, dude. Like,
thank you.
Like, love yourself, man. That's what I'm saying.
Self-love. Gotta wrap my head around that. Okay, all right. So enough about that. Let's jump into Animal Crossing, because these people are listening right now on, like, Spotify and all that stuff. They're just going, like, what in the hell is happening to this show? We do this show every week where we talk about Animal Crossing, and when you and I met, I realized not that long into the conversation that, like, you were a fan of Animal Crossing, and I had this show, and I was, at the time, it wasn't guest driven, but in my mind I knew it was going to become guest driven, so I had ticked it off that, like, I'm bringing Josh on, like, I gotta have Josh on because he loves Animal Crossing. So I just want to refresh some people's memories on some things about that conversation that went on. So real quick, we don't have to spend a whole heck of a lot of time on it, but, like, your first Animal Crossing game was which one?
GameCube.
Okay. And then your favorite Animal Crossing game?
New Horizon.
And your You can't do that. Come on. That totally messed me up, man. You can't. I mean, I guess you can do that. It doesn't take long to get there. And your favorite Animal Crossing memory.
My favorite Animal Crossing memory is firing up the GameCube. My son could only say like mama and dada, and the game starts and it goes Nintendo, really high pitched, and he's walking by the TV and he's like Nintendo, and I was like, your first words were Nintendo. Like, what? What?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
A difficult word to say, no less, and he nails it.
And then it just switched to like 3 syllables. He was like, gung, gung, gung. That's what it turned into until he got a little bit older. Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually sitting next to my GameCube with my original Animal Crossing town in the card slot.
So did you revisit this your GameCube the GameCube town before New Horizons hit, just for nostalgia, or?
It was probably a year ago, like when they announced New Horizons, we jumped in, and a lot of the townspeople were like, "We thought you were in the Slammer."
Oh, dude, like, that's the best when you go back after a long time. They and especially that version, because that version was a little bit more like raw, man. They would go at you, man. That game was really rough.
No chill. They will talk crap to you. They will make you feel dumb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was just the GameCube era. A lot of that stuff was a little bit crazy.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Let's just jump back into your favorite Animal Crossing game. Can you honestly say that, or is it still too early for you?
Oh no, I can honestly say it.
Do you think that this is going to be hands down your favorite Animal Crossing game of all time?
Yep.
I think I'm there with you. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that I put up a little bit of time, and I won't know for probably Monday or Tuesday how much time I've actually played, because we got to wait 10 days before it pops up on our Switches, which annoys the hell out of me. The Wii U is perfect. Wii U would get it down to like the second, and this thing you got to wait 10 days, and then it rounds it around. It's a roundabout. That being said, what is your what's making you say that? What are some things that you're falling in love with pretty quickly?
The thing with Animal Crossing is you kind of make it the way you want it to be, right? It's you pick what resonates with you and you go for it.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing that's right off the bat, and I put out a video showcasing how to do this, is the tarantulas on the island and how to clear out the whole island and load up on tarantulas. My favorite thing to do in New Leaf was to go to the island, catch bugs, make all the money, like put on a Netflix show. If I was on vacation, it was like hanging out on the deck at the cabin we were staying at, and just catching bugs. And so the fact that we have this thing we can do for the tarantulas, which is cool, but then you never know if you show up on an island. I mean, I pulled 9 oarfish off of one island. Yeah. That was a moneymaker.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like that they've mixed things up. I at first I wasn't sure if I would love this whole deserted island thing.
Yeah. And
I'm getting tired of using my pole and my ladder, but it's eventually it goes away. I did an interview with a time traveler yesterday and got to see what the future looked like. Yeah. He who shall not be named, Super Nintendo, is already like,
he came to my town, right? And he's like, Bobby, I have a beard I want to give you. And I was like, okay, cool. And he comes to my town. First off, the weirdest costume ever. Like,
was that today?
No, this was like the weekend. He's wearing a frog outfit, right, with a crown on, with these like 8-bit glasses. And then he comes rolling in and like trutzing through, and then like I'm like, dude, how did you get a crown already? He's like, we can't talk about that now. He's like, we can't talk about that. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, you're time traveling. He's like, Bobby, you don't want to know where I get this stuff. So then the next thing I know, he's like, all right, I'm gonna head out, and he drops the beard, he drops the glasses, and he drops the crown. And I'm like, dude, don't leave your crown. Like, take it. He's like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, he's got a bunch of them. He's cheating the system. He's got a bunch. He's the mess. He's a mess. So the glitch got fixed though, right? They're not doing the tarantula spawn thing. Isn't working anymore.
Yeah, it still works.
I thought they just checked it yesterday. People were checking it yesterday and saying it's gone.
Oh, I mean,
because there was an update 2 nights ago.
Yeah, that fixed the duplicating glitch, but I didn't think it. The spawning is just tied to the bugs that you remove. Like,
yeah, you take all the bugs out. You cut down all the trees. You take out all the weeds and the flowers, and you basically just make it where it's just plain Jane. And the only thing that was spawning was tarantulas. But there was a couple of people I know that were all in my stream after the update happened that were all saying like, "Oh my God, it's gone. We can't do it anymore." At the Adelwolf, you were doing it. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, it still works. Then I'm wrong.
Okay. I was gonna say because like someone in my house pulled 13 of them yesterday, just like in a quick run. So
okay, so the island trick using the game mechanics for so that does still work. I have Adelwolf who was cheating the system. We're not going to talk badly about Adelwolf. We'll let it go. Even though you're that type of guy, we got you. I understand. We all can't be like purists, So
right.
But anyway, he's saying that it's still there. So okay, so that was pretty interesting. Like how people find that stuff blows me away, and it makes me wonder. Like, because I went to an island. Now, see, I went to an island that was legitimately Tarantula Island.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went and there was a moat and there was 5 of them in there, and you went in and you caught them, and if you got bit, it sent you back to the plane, but it respawned all 5. So I would go in, catch 2, get bit, and sometimes you get bit because as you're picking the one up, the other one's right up there biting you.
Oh, clever girl.
Yeah. So
it's Jurassic Park, clever girl, and it's happened to me.
Yeah. So like literally. I was able to fill my pockets and pull 177,000 bells out of it, but what you're saying essentially is you just go in there with burner tools, wipe out everything, get rid of all the tools except for the net, and just go at it and just pick them up. How many does it put on the island though?
Or how many tarantulas?
Yeah, or does it just spawn like one here, one there?
Yeah, so what you have to do, and like I said, I have an article on N64Josh.com and a video that breaks it down. But the only thing you have to contend with is wharf roaches and tiger beetles. And you basically just run, and then if a tarantula jumps, you can outrun it, turn around and snag it, right? Mm-hmm. And so because you've destroyed the rocks, if it's raining, no snails or pill bugs will show up on there. Mm-hmm. You get all the trees out, so no spiders or bagworms can show up. Mm-hmm. You take the stumps out, so none of the citrus beetle will show up on top of them. Mm-hmm. And so the worst part is if you get an island that has like 3 layers and you got to move up and down. The best ones allow you to, at least on one side of the island, hit both of the back rock areas on the beach so you can clear those wharf roaches.
Okay.
I tested to see if I could throw all my items on those things so that it would keep the wharf roaches from spawning, but they still spawned under the items. Yeah. So once that's out, then it's just a matter of, like, I left that island with 29 because I hadn't upgraded my pockets yet. So I left with 29 tarantulas and iron nuggets. I left all the tools on the beach. It was like 230,000 bells.
That's insane. That's a nice chunk. Chunk. So now you talked about New Leaf. I used to do something very similar. After I caught all the bugs that I needed, like, because there's certain bugs on the island in New Leaf that you have to catch, that you can only catch on the island. And once I caught them, I basically just wiped that island clean. And I just had palm trees around the sides. And then, like, you would still get, like, crickets and stuff like that to come up. Mm-hmm. And you would just chase them off. And then it was just beetle fest, man. I would just walk around. And I would leave with, like, pockets full of beetles. It was the best. I used to love it. So this is an interesting thing. I might try it one night just to see. Part of me wants to pay off my home loan first before I do that, because I feel like that makes it super easy, but who knows?
Chat's asking about the flowers. Just pick the flowers. Don't uproot them, and pull all the weeds. No weeds, no flowers, no trees. Don't dig the trees up. Cut the tree down and then flip the stump out, because you can't replant the tree on the beach, so you can't get rid of it unless you want to keep holding on to it. So But yeah, my New Leaf Island was similar. I cleared everything off of it except for one palm tree on the left and right side.
Oh my god!
And that was it.
Just go back and forth, back and forth.
I would just run back and forth, getting the stag beetle, getting the that and that. But I mean, I loved it. I would, and in this one, it's nice because you can at least place all the things on the ground, so you can wake up the next morning and just make bank. Even though they threw that drop box in there, but that drop box, like a tarantula sells for $8K. You put in that Dropbox, it's down to 64, so you're losing
a lot, though. It's still a lot.
It is. But when you're trying to pay off that crooked raccoon,
Listen, I can say this, or you could have a friend like Slimer Snarf in the chat over here who lives in Hawaii and 6 hours behind me. So like I'm literally at late night when I'm doing this stuff, I'm going to his town selling all my stuff and still getting top dollar. So because he's just like, my gates are open, you can come all night long, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's cool.
You're talking about Tom Nook like he's bad. I thought he was your new best friend. Is he not is Tom Nook our new best friend?
Oh, I don't know. I've been like, Tom Nook's okay. He's okay. Somebody. I think it was my co-host on the Nintendo Powercast. He's like, look, he's giving us interest-free loans. This guy is our friend. He's not trying to take advantage of us. But the internet has all of these theories that he kidnapped Timmy and Tommy, and he abused the one so much he can't even speak. He only uses the last. And so like, yeah,
that's brutal.
Yeah, pretty funny stuff.
I got a little today. I went into so I got Town Hall a couple days ago, and then today I got the campsite. So I go in there, and there's this big, brutish gorilla in there named Hans, and he talks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's pretty awesome. And so I invited him into my town, and then Tom Nook's like, "Hey, go set a house someplace for him." I'm like, "Okay," and then he's like, "We're gonna have to set up future sites for you, so this way they're just there. This way we're not trying to do it at the last minute." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." And he's like, "And like, as I sell houses, I'll give you Nook miles." So now he's starting to pay us. So it's like, all right, that's not too bad. Like, I'll do your dirty work if you're gonna. Yeah.
It's funny. I actually scanned Hans in with my amiibo card today.
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
Yeah. And so it's kind of funny that you mentioned, because I don't know if I'd seen him before that. So it's just kind of funny.
He's pretty cool. I liked him. I was like, this guy's actually pretty dope, man. I like him. He's got like white hair, purple, like a bluish purple face. I was like, this guy's pretty dope. Who is your favorite character, like an NPC in Animal Crossing?
So in the last game, it was Rod, the mouse, who's into like working out and stuff. I'm excited to see Rod in the new game. I have Axel, which is an elephant that loves to pump iron. I get up early this morning, go to the town square, and he's got a dumbbell out pumping iron with shades on and like a Letterman jacket, and then he's like, later in the day, he's sitting there drinking tea with like a totally different t-shirt, right? So yeah, he's pretty cool. When I literally scanned all of my amiibo cards today to see what would happen, and every character got a poster, but I found a lot of other characters that I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's a pretty cool, So, I mean, Rold, of course, is he's been around since the beginning. But what I scanned today was called Puck, and he's like this
duck, right?
He's a penguin that was a hockey player.
Yeah. He's all chunky, got the hat on and stuff, right? Yes. The hockey helmet. Yeah. That dude is. Oh, he's a mess. Yeah. See, now I'm real leery on amiibo cards. I have them all. I just don't know what I want to do. I don't know whether I want to dive in or I just want to let them naturally come to me so I can maybe learn some of the characters. Because that's the one thing, like every version of Animal Crossing, I've always fell in love with one character. So it's always going from like, this is my favorite character to like, oh no, I got 2 favorite characters. So now I got 3 favorite characters. So I'm hoping, because I really didn't like any characters in Wild World. I just was like, whatever. But between GameCube and City Folk and then New Leaf, I've picked up people along the way. So I'm just like, I'm gonna although Hans really might be the winner You're like, this is no lie. Like, this guy is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I kind of thought the same thing too when I saw him today. I was like, oh, this might be my guy.
Yeah. When he started talking like like German, Austrian, and like kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy. So yeah, he might want to be a thing. Are you disappointed or are you okay with Photopia?
Are we talking like where
Harv is?
Where Harvey's at?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, Like here's the thing. I feel like there's some strange things about this game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot missing.
Dude, a lot.
A lot,
man. A lot. Yeah, I'm with you there. But part of me thinks they're gonna add it. Some of it. Some of it they obviously can't add. But I can see them doing some things and adding some things over time. Whether they bring it in as just like free content but also part of me goes like, how can they add it all in? Because a lot of this stuff was tucked away in a city per se. Like in New Leaf, it was all tucked away in the screen up above. Like you would go through the gates. That's why they had retail down below. So that was a way for you to sell. And you didn't have to go up and wait for the save to go into the store and wait for the save and then go in to talk to the Nooks. They put retail in there for that reason. But like the only thing I could see retail coming back for is like maybe they're going to allow you to customize more stuff, and Cyrus is going to help you. The post office, like we could mail stuff now right out of the airport. We don't need that, and Isabel is doing all the stuff that Pelly and Phyllis used to do. So it's like, are they gone for good? And it's like, I don't want them to be, but at the same time, it's weird. You know what I mean? Like, just strange how they're handling a lot of stuff. And I wonder if they could bring the post office back, drop it in Town Hall, create a Nook Homes, like as we expand, like when we get to Nookingtons. Like if they were to move Tom Nook out, throw Tom Nook up into Nookingtons or whatever, and then Isabel moves over to where Tom Nook is sitting and basically runs hey, this guy's in town, you gotta go do this or whatever, but you would go to Tom Nook for the actual expansions, and then you have like Pelly and Phyllis move back into where Isabel is. But I don't see them doing all that. But that's the only thing I would love to see them do, because I don't want to lose these characters.
What's strange is this. I assume this game's been in development for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I think that's the assumption everybody makes. The assumption may be wrong. It may be wrong because like I said, we're missing so much. They put a great emphasis, like a ton of emphasis on this crafting stuff, which is fine. It doesn't feel it's the most unoriginal thing to ever hit in Animal Crossing is what it feels like. Mm-hmm. But at the end, and there's a lot of quality of life things they could change. Like, let me throw 10 clams in and do 10 pieces of bait at once instead of going back and forth, so, which is funny because they do sell in bulk up in the stores and things like that. So it's just, there's some strange, design choices.
Well, the funny thing is, shout out to my boy, Pat, Nintendo Talk. He's like, just eliminate the fact, if I walk up to that crafting table, why are you asking me if I want to craft something? Just open the menu. Like, just open the menu.
You got craft and
Josh,
customize
you can open
now,
the
right?
window and they can just do a tab. Like, do you want to customize or do you want to do? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it could just be a right, left click, and it's there. Like, it just, there's steps to the crafting that feels like they're overcompensating for something. Like, they could cut some of that stuff back, essentially. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing with the crafting that I would say what's interesting is it's given us something else to collect, the DIY recipes.
Yes.
But then at the same time, we can just make some things that we used to have to wait to see what the store was going to have.
Yeah.
And things like that. And so I'm curious, like, what some of the final stores are going to be, and is there going to be like a second story with the giraffe and the high end stuff, like
Gracie,
yeah. So there's Yeah,
I don't think Gracie's coming this time. This is why I feel that. So when you watched I don't know if it was a trailer afterwards or if it was on during the direct. Yeah, it was during the direct, and they showed all the multiple characters that show up in town hall, and they had Label there, right? So in City Folk, Label was introduced, but her name was LaBelle, and she worked at Gracie Grace's store, and then. But as time goes on, you learn the back history of her. She's actually the Abel sisters' sister. Her name was Label, but Gracie changed her name to LaBelle to give her like a stylistic name and such.
Right.
Then in New Leaf, she actually goes and reunites with her sisters, and she's actually off to the side selling accessories. Mm-hmm. In this one, if you go back and you look and you read what she's saying to the villager, is that she's a fashion designer. So I think that she's actually replacing Gracie Grace, similar to the way that like Flick and it feels like Flick and CJ are replacing Chip and Nat. So it feels, and like Daisy May is replacing Joan. Like it feels like they just infused this game with a lot of youth per se, and bringing in these youthful characters.
Yeah, and the chat saying I hope they bring Brewster back. I'm fairly certain today when I scanned Brewster's card, he popped into the game.
Yeah, he's there.
His character model was there.
They would not get rid of Brewster. They would have a riot on their hands.
But Cap'n, Rover, Reese,
Digby,
there's a bunch of them that are not their character models are not in the game. You can get their poster. Mm-hmm. You can even scan the villager amiibo and get his poster.
Yeah.
But Rossetti, you're like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So
Blanca, yep.
Part of me wonders. Well, like Blanca, we'll find out next week if she's in the game or not. Like,
she's not in the. There's no character model. I scanned the amiibo card today.
But we also didn't get that update yet, did we? Did we get the update for? The 1.10 was the update for April.
Yeah.
For the holiday we're gonna get Zipper. Oh my God, this is terrible.
No, okay.
They're basically destroying our game, man. What the hell? Listen, nobody cares about Katie. Stop it.
Oh
wow. Just kidding. So, man, but the one thing that we were talking about the other day when we were playing, a bunch of us, the one thing that's got me a little nervous is there's no Nintendo items either.
Other than the clothes.
Like, normally you have, like, a Metroid, or
right.
You have, like, an R-Wing, or...
They were fortune cookies, right? Yeah. So that came later, once the store upgraded. So hopefully, I would imagine...
I hope, man. They better.
I know, because that's how I decorate my house, is mostly Nintendo stuff.
But not only that, like, Josh, seriously, man, you think about it. With this game in particular, like, you could create Nintendo stuff. Like, you could make an island that's just Nintendo themed. Like, you could have a Mario island that's just like, because you have, they had the flagpole and they had the cannon and...
My island, N64 Island, I'm going to reshape it to a console.
I heard you
so
say
that it looks like the console, and so I'm stoked for that. There's somebody out in the chat saying gyroids, things like that. Like gyroids got obnoxious. There was like so many. We're like, I need to collect all these too. There was just so many.
Yeah. And it killed it in New Leaf when they took away like the room. Like they had that room that Brewster would keep in the roost under the museum, and it was like, okay, he's gonna store them. Cool. You take them for me. When I want them, I'll come get them. But when they took that away in New Leaf, I was like, all right, I'm selling these things. I can't keep them anymore. Like, this is just a mess.
But you catch the squid, and you got all these Inkling references,
right?
And right, so it's I have I hate to say this, but chat is saying it too. Like the game is very front loaded right now, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of drip fed content, and this is what we've seen from, Smash has been getting this drip-fed content. The only game that hasn't is Mario Party, really.
Pretty much. And the thing is some of the team that worked on this game worked on Splatoon 2. Like some of the director, right? The director is actually the director of Splatoon. And so some of that team is kind of crossing over. So it's very possible. It's very possible that that's the way it is. And I thought about that immediately. Like, with the squid having all these different sayings, like he references Splatoon, but he also references like Mario, like the
does it bloop?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff that like they do with that. The squid's the only one that has, to my knowledge, the only one that has multiple sayings as well. Like most of them, it's all the same thing every single time. It would be nice if, because they're talking about Leaf is coming in at the end of the month, as part of Earth Day, and I'm hoping that that's something similar that they do as they move forward, and they just start adding stuff like, hey, you're gonna have another update in May, like May 1st. Okay, here you go. Here's like this Mother's Day thing, and maybe here comes Joan, and maybe Joan's doing something or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they got to do something. Like I think it would be devastating to think that like all these characters are just gone and missing. I don't know. Yeah,
it's strange for sure. The community, of course, like you see Gulliver laying on the beach, and then you see the blood splatter and the axe in the hand with some blood splatter on the face. Like the community just slays me. Like I love all this stuff. But like, I mean, weren't there people putting pictures of like Tortimer's tombstone and Isabel's tombstone
in the direct when they break through the back of the island, like when they're terraforming, just before it kind of at the end of the trailer, like they break through, and as they break through to the right, it looks like there's a tombstone up there. It looks like it's a grave site. So immediately people are like, "That's Tortimer. That's Isabel. That's it's like, stop. That is not. Nintendo would not do that, man. Like, just stop." I really think that, honestly, I think that they have something special with this game, and I think that if they are going to drip feed some stuff to us, I'm all for it. Anything that keeps the game continually fresh, because honestly, there's not many events in the summertime other than fishing and bug offs. There wasn't ever really a lot of stuff to do in the summers. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff to do in terms of catching fish and catching bugs and all that, but like there's no real true events like the holiday events like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Jack Halloween and like Pave and all that. Like, so it would be nice if we got other things instead,
And I mean, DLC is alive and well on the Switch, could there be a city expansion? You better believe there could be. And this game outsold Smash and Pokemon in its first week.
Is that crazy or what, dude? Is that crazy? Dude, the other night we heard them numbers where, like, out of the UK, they were like, it did 3.5 or 3 times more than New Leaf did at its launch, and New Leaf did like 357,000 copies in the UK, and now this comes out to be 3 times. That's like 1.5 million just in the UK, and we know that the game isn't as big. Like, more people probably bought. Well, it didn't. More people wrote this game than Doom, but like leading in, people thought like Doom is going to be the game. Like Doom will be the big game in the UK, because the UK is very like flip a coin over there when it comes to Nintendo. Like a lot of those people never had the NES. They started with the Super Nintendo, and because they had Sega. Sega was a big thing. That's why a lot of people in the UK, when you talk to them, are Sonic fans. God bless their soul. They're raised on bad things, and that's just what it happens, But like Sonic. You know Sonic's fan. Stop it. You know Sonic's fan. But the thing is, like, so for them to buy 1.5 million copies or whatever, that is huge to think. And then to think that Japan, gangbusters, and then you're looking at chat, and I know they're probably roasting you right now. I don't care. We're not even gonna do it. Edelwolf, I think you're on crack. But anyway, so
they're roasting you with blast processing right now. That's what's happening.
Listen, that was just a figment of your imagination. It meant nothing. Trust me. Mode 7, baby, or Mode 6. Don't even try it. But like the thing of it is like you have this like to see these numbers coming out is just unbelievable. Like, do we know what it did? We just know overall numbers, right? Is that where we're at?
I think so. I don't think there's been anything like any solid numbers yet. Dude, but I mean, we're at 1 week today.
That's crazy, dude. So in the same time, it outsold Smash and Pokemon.
But I mean, look at what Twitter has done. Everybody's tweeting stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I probably put out 6 to 7 tweets a day from my Switch, just with, oh, like this happened or this happened. You know, the Twitch clips of people running from the tarantulas that are like liquid Terminators. You know, they just don't stop. Like, Nemesis has nothing on these tarantulas in Resident Evil 3. Like, I'm way more terrified of these tarantulas.
The thing is, you're right. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, this game, it was weird. Let's be honest. This is probably the weirdest launch that Nintendo has done in terms of, like, for the Switch anyway, where they just basically were like, beginning of the year, just cleared away. We're not talking about anything but Animal Crossing. And that's it. And once they did, and it was funny because people were just like, why aren't they talking about Animal Crossing? Why aren't they talking about Animal Crossing? And then, man, that direct hits, and it was like every week they were dropping 2-3 commercials for the thing. And it was just like, they just flooded the gates, and they just pushed them 2 directs that we just got this past week to behind, you know, Animal Crossing. And it was like, we're just clearing the path. We're going to put out a new console that's going to sell out everywhere that you can't get. And we're going to put this game out where, by the way, you go to Target and you're only allowed to buy 1 copy of it. You weren't allowed to buy multiple copies. Like, when has that ever happened on a Nintendo game? Where they were getting that such demand that they're like, nope, you can only buy 1 copy. It's crazy.
So GameStop, because of the whole virus thing, has the street date, they pulled it and sold it a day early.
Yeah.
Right. So I went to go get it, and I had it pre-ordered at Best Buy way back when with my Gamer Club Unlocked while I still had that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, can I get a poster? And they were like, no, we don't even have enough for our pre-orders. And it was a fat stack of posters.
God. I didn't get one either, and I pre-ordered from there too.
So, I mean, that's great. That's a great sign. And I mean, I remember buying the first game on GameCube and was like, I have no idea what this is. This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And I remember playing it and telling people, and they're like, this makes no sense. They play it. They're like, we're up till 4 a.m. fishing. And they're like, I got to, you know, now they went and got a GameCube and they went and got, like, you know, and I mean, I ended up buying 3 of the Animal Crossing Switches.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I bought 2, but that's
so, well, like I was in Best Buy and okay, so this is a little, I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit, okay? Just a little bit, but this is cool. This is the power of this game.
Yeah.
This, my aunt and my wife would play this game. Like, Wild World was what, like, kept them connected because we both got moved away from family due to work, and so they stayed connected with Wild World. When New Leaf came out, we helped get her the Animal Crossing 3DS, and then my wife had it as well, and so that was kind of like there was like a video of her opening her pantry and her kids had hit it and she found it and like started crying because she didn't think it was going to happen. Right? She thought she would just have to play the game and it was fine. She was just but she was super stoked. Well, when I'm in Best Buy and I'm like, there's another one. I had got a pre-order on Amazon, and then I didn't trust it. You know, I didn't trust it. And then I had a local, like kind of like a mom and pop shop was like, hey, we have them here. I'll open the doors an hour early for you to come in and get one if you want. And so went and got that one just in case. And then Best Buy ended up having it. So my daughter ended up with the Animal Crossing one. My aunt ended up with one, and my wife ended up with one. Nice. And my youngest daughter ended up with a gray Switch Lite. That's what she wanted. Nice. And so 4 digital copies of the game and 1 physical copy. Like, this game cleaned me out.
Dude, I bought 6 copies of the game. Yeah, when all was said and done, 6 copies of the game. Same thing. Yeah, like, I bought one. Crazy. I bought two physical because I was like, I don't know what the GameStop pre-order is going to be, the bonus. I was like, I'm just going to hold it there, and I was going to cancel it. And then Target put out that journal, right? So Target has the journal here. So I was like, I got to get the journal, right? So I was like, got to have this. So I've got the physical and this. And then I bought the Japanese digital because I wanted it early. That's how I was able to play it 13 hours early. So, so that was 2 things. And then GameStop. And then I bought one for my girlfriend, Very Carey, and then one for, my niece and my nephew. So I was like, just crazy. And I'm talking about getting one for my mom, too. She's never played before. She don't have a Switch, but I'm just like, maybe she needs one. Maybe this is the game to get her in. But I have a feeling it's going to be too hard for her because I'm talking to people that are first timers and they're struggling, and I'm just like, I don't know if my mom could pick it up that quick.
It doesn't hold your hand. There's a lot of things it doesn't tell you.
It doesn't, man. Especially this game. This game, I think, is what I love the most about it. They don't hold your hand with it. It is like, hey, you played this before. We're going to hold your hand for about the first 30 minutes, and then, boom, go. There many times people are like, hey, man, how do I get the ladder? How do I get the vaulting pole? And it's like, man, do you really want me to tell you? Because it's kind of spoilerish. Like, we're going to tell you some stuff how to get it. And they're like, I need it. And it was like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how they did not... I did not expect that from this game. Because this is a game, and you can vouch, and you know, this game holds your hands all the time for like the first hour or two in the previous games. Like, hey, you got to write a note. Go over to the bulletin board. You got to go over there and put it on the bulletin board. Oh, take this letter over to Miles or whatever and go over to him. And then he's not there. Now you got to go over to this one. It's like, go say hello to all the villagers. They didn't do any of that in this one. It was like, nope, go. 20 minutes.
Yeah, You're exactly right. But I mean, people that do it don't even know like to hold down A with their net so they can creep.
Yes. Dude, I found out the other day. Well, I know now, but I found out the other day, right? So it's funny. I did a video on trees. And one of the things that I did in the video, and I'm like, dude, I'm on it. Nobody knows about this. And people are like, oh, I didn't even know about that. Where you shake the tree. Just keep shaking.
Sure.
Because at first you walk up to a tree, shake it once, thing drops. Okay, that's what you have. Never in my wildest dreams did I think you just keep shaking. Then I find out, no, you go to the other side of the tree and keep shaking that way, and you get double the amount of branches. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm over here like an idiot. Shake once, let it go. Then I find out this, and I shake. Then I find out, I'm like, this is nuts.
It happened in my chat often. I'd be shaking the tree over and over, and they're like, you could shake it more than once?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just funny that there's new, but I mean, I had somebody in my chat was like, you know, you can shake it more than once. I was like, oh, okay. You know, like, so, and you know, I've been playing for 18 years. That's a whole new thing.
Because we've never been able to. You shake it once and one thing comes out. If you're lucky, you either get a beehive, you might get a money, like a coin drop, or you might get a present, a gift. And that was it. That's all we ever got before. So you only shook it one time. You didn't have to shake it all these times. Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think the funniest thing that I've seen in this game is because I love the interaction with the villagers this time, where they'll be doing stupid stuff. But one day, two things that I thought were hilarious. Well, I got this goat named Sherb. Yesterday, I'm walking through the town. He's got like I say every time I see when they have the can, they're drinking beer. Well, he's walking around and he's drinking, and the next thing you know, he plops down next to the tree and goes to sleep. And I'm like, he's drunk. Like, he's literally drunk. He just passed out. I'm like, this is amazing. And then, and then the other one was Sherb is in my town before I had town hall, when I just had the little tent. He's sitting there and he's singing for hours, right? Yep. Like, I'm walking by, and every time I'm by, he's sitting there singing. Dude, about like, you know, an hour in, here comes Sly, an alligator, walks up, and the two of them start singing. And I'm like, you two gotta shut up. Like, you are bad, man. You can't sing.
The exact same thing happened to me. Rex, I believe it's a lion, running around singing, and then all of a sudden, here comes another one. They're sitting down just singing together. I was like, this is great. And the way they run, where they with their arms back.
Yeah, with their arms back, I've done that when I was drunk. I used to do it at parties. I'd be drunk, running like a lizard. Like, you're like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Don't mind him. My brother would be like, don't mind him. He's like, you know, my mom dropped him a couple times when he was a kid. He's all right. Right. What about you? What's some things that like that? Is there anything else that stands out that you're just like, that's the best?
I mean, well, there's a couple things. Like today, because we have a couple of those the Animal Crossing Switches. I threw the Joy-Cons on, got my own copy of that, and then took it out of my house, dropped it on the ground, opened my gate, and everybody in the stream that wanted to just came, grabbed it, dropped it, so they could go and order it. And so, so that was really cool. Yeah. And I had people commenting like, you know, most communities somebody just would have they just would have taken your your Switch.
You're not getting out there. Well, I guess you couldn't you? Because you could just pick it up, press the select, and get out. This is true. This is true.
Right. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then just watching the community come together, like, you know, I start playing, I'm streaming it. Somebody new to the stream comes in. They're like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, this, you know, then they're going out, getting a Switch, getting it. And then it's like the community comes in. We're like, what fruit do you need? What do you know, we're like, we're hooking everybody up and like, and now it's happening with like different items. I'm kind of like setting up like a music room, you know, so now I've got like 2 different colored amps, and then somebody else gave me a like an effects rack that you can stick the amp up on top of.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, one of the first things I got was how to make an acoustic guitar. So then I got an acoustic guitar now, you know, so there's just, there's so much stuff. It's like that. But the thing I love is the villagers walking around, or your neighbors, and like Rex is walking through the flowers with a book looking at different kinds of flowers.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, there's so much more life to them. It's just and when they get excited and want to come talk to you, there's something about playing this game on the TV, you know, in HD. It just, the sound, like where we vacation, oftentimes it's in the middle of nowhere in a cabin. Very, very little population, no light pollution.
Yeah.
And at night, you just hear the wind blowing through the trees, and it sounds exactly like this game. And it's just so relaxing and so great. I actually am missing the original music before I got the
really
resident services. I loved that acoustic guitar. I mean, like,
it'd be nice if you could like click back if you wanted to on it. But I got to tell you, man, I love the hourly music. Like, I really, truly fell in love quick with that. Because I was just like, that's the one thing. Because I think what they did in my eyes, anyway, my estimation, by the time I got to hourly music, I was like, thank God. I am so tired of the same song over and over. Now it's like, now that I've been like playing it for a couple of days, it's like, I wouldn't mind clicking back if I could, you know what I mean? Just to have... But the one thing that I tried to stress to people was, if you're playing this game, you only get one time to experience it this way. Don't rush. As hard as that is to say, because you want to just fly and try to unlock everything. But if you're new to the game, man, take it in. Because this is Breath of the Wild caliber game, where the first time you played Breath of the Wild, there was these moments that just stick with you for the rest of your life. And that's what this game is doing. This game is creating moments that are just like, oh my God. Like yesterday, I got the lighthouse. So I go out to the jetty and I drop the lighthouse. And I'm like, this is amazing. And then I go, let me try to turn it on. Like, let's get the light going, right? And I click it. It's like, it's not working. I'm like, oh man, they cheaped it. They didn't do. Like, this is crazy. So last night, it's late. It's dark, right? I'm running down the side island where I put the thing. And there it is, spinning. The lights are spinning. And I'm like, dude, they literally just took... Like, it's just the little details in this game. Just make you go, that's a moment. Like, me walking down that beach, and just as the log is turning towards you, you just see the top of the lighthouse, and then boom, you see these lights just spinning. It's like, oh, man. Like, you don't get that back. Like, I don't get that moment ever again. I don't think experience that moment ever again. And it's like, it's those first moments on everything that's just like, this is such a game. Like, this is the game, man. This is the one that, like, I wanted. I knew I wanted it. I just didn't know the level they were going to go to get it. Like, it's beyond our expectations. I feel anyway.
Right. Yeah, and just the traveling between towns and things like that, between different islands, and meeting with other people, meeting up with other people, and just the kind of fun. And that's the thing, because we're leaving on a plane. Maybe that city expansion is something we fly to. Maybe it isn't connected, right? You know, it used to be blocked by the train or whatever, but like, all they would have to do is just say, "Oh, you're gonna fly out to the city."
Or you can go to the dock, and Captain's there, and Captain takes you out to the city.
Yep.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be very okay with that. Like, have Captain singing to you again, like
right.
He's taking you to the island. Yeah, man. This is just crazy good. this is kind of funny. So, Edelwolf, he was in the chat earlier, and Voide, right? They come to my island the one night, and they're younger guys, right? They're so obnoxious and annoying. They're chasing me around with ocarinas, and they're blowing them every 2 seconds. And I'm like,
right.
You guys got to go. You got to go. You got to get. And so I literally I close the island and get them off the island, right? So then later that night, I find this goofy looking tanuki that you can craft. And I'm like, there it is. And I craft 2 of them. So when you enter my town, there's one on the right, one on the left. And I call one Edelwolf and one Voide, right? So then Voide says to me a couple days later, he says to me, Bobby, I want to make you a fishing pole. Can I make you a fishing pole? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Just stop talking to me. If that's going to make you happy, make me a fishing pole, right? And he says, what color do you want it to be? I was like, well, I'm wearing like black outfit. Like black would be cool, man. Send me a black one. So I get the mail. I go over. It's a pink fishing pole. So I'm like, I'm staring at the camera like, really, dude? You did this to me? So I start like rubbing my forehead, but I'm giving him a middle finger, right, the whole time. Well, next thing I know, they screen cap it, like they make it a GIF, right? Next thing I know, it's in my Discord. Then they screen cap it, and now it's a pattern in Animal Crossing. They're running around with shirt. They're coming like, Bobby, can I please come to your town? I'm like, yeah, no problem. They come in, there's the shirt, and it's me giving the middle finger. So the other day, Adolf is like, Bobby, I really need you to come to my town. Could you come to my town? I'm like, he asked me like 3 times. Like, if you ask me again, I am banning you from the chat. Stop asking me. I'll get there eventually today. Just let it go, right? Well, then all of a sudden, like 30 minutes goes by, and someone else is like, man, I was at Edelwolf's island. You really got to go, Bob. You really got to go. And I'm like, finally, after like the 5th person asks, I'm like, all right, I'm coming. Let's go. As the plane's flying in, on the ground, he's got a million patterns of my face giving the middle finger. And I was like, I can't be mad. I can't be mad at this. This is amazing.
Right.
It's just, it's just the level of amazingness that this game just allows. Because that's the thing, man. Even the patterns, like putting the patterns in, they use some analyzing to it that rounds it off, and it's not just the pixelated look. It's like really sharp. It looks really sharp, man. I think they did a hell of a job with it.
Oh, the first thing I did was I'm wearing my Nintendo 64 sweatshirt right now and my 8-bit Mario, and my character has an 8-bit Mario hat and a Nintendo 64 sweatshirt.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And it's the first thing people come in. They're like, where'd you get that? I'm like, I made it. They're like, what? I'm like, hopefully I can give you the QR code someday. Right now I can't because I made it on the Switch, not on the DS.
Oh, see, that's a tough part. It's a shame that they don't have a way to pull stuff off the Switch. So if you make stuff, well, they do have that website acpattern.com, which is really, really good. Have you used it yet?
No.
You basically all you do is just take a picture and drop it in, and it makes it pixelated, and then you save it, and it puts a QR code up. You scan it, and boom, right in.
Okay.
That's how they did. That's how they did what they did. They grabbed that picture, dropped it in there, pixelated it, and then put it in there. And then they wear my stuff all over the place now. They wear my face giving the finger. It's like,
love it.
It's like saying hello. Josh, before we wrap, is there anything else that sticks out to you this game that you want to talk about before we bounce?
It's just the way they did the mystery islands where you don't know what you're going to be seeing or what you're going to be getting. I showed up on an island yesterday, was nothing but hybrid pansies of
dude, same thing. Yeah,
it was just blue and then a red and yellow, and
amazing.
That meant there was nothing but there was a ton of peacock butterflies, right? Which I hadn't seen. So I take a bunch of these things home, plant them. Now people are coming to my town to get the peacock butterfly because you got to wait for the hybrids.
They swarm, man. It's crazy. Yeah. I make so much money off of that now. And I was doing the same thing. And one of my mods, Hot Cheeto Puff, she was just like, Bobby, don't catch the butterflies. Take them flowers home with you. Plant them, and they'll all come. And I was like, damn, why didn't I think about that? So I did it, and I was like, this is the best. Because literally, they line my town hall. And, like, I just come out of Tom Nook. The minute I come out of the town hall, there's 2 of them right there. Boop, boop. And I just run around. It's amazing. It's amazing. Man, thank you so much for doing this, especially on super late notice. I appreciate.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure. I love it.
Real quickly, again, give yourself a quick plug before we bounce.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys just a little bit about my stream for a second, because what I've started doing is I sing. Actually, I'm gonna sing you a song, Bobby.
Oh boy.
Right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared.
Yeah, you ready?
Oh god.
Don't be scared.
Oh god.
Don't be scared. It's in the key of A.
Okay, we're gonna.
All right.
We're gonna get a copyright strike. People, get ready.
The same as the key in the first before it switches to the hourly music. All right. Okay. So you're gonna love this. Okay. This is you're gonna love this. So here we go. With hope in every cast that I don't catch a sea bass, I need to make those bells. That fish can go straight to hell. If I cast one more time, I swear I'll lose my mind if you end up on my line. With every large shadow I see, I'm praying on my knees that the sea will keep all of its sea bass. With every large shadow I see, I'm on my knees praying that the sea will keep all of its sea bass.
Dude, that is amazing. That is amazing. I'm looking a little tingly, man. I'm a little excited. That song is amazing, dude. You need to put that on iTunes today. That is awesome, man. Oh my god, I think that's everybody's sentiments.
Yeah. Nobody needs them. No. So Friday nights on my stream, I'm taking the place of KK, and because we're all kind of quarantined right now, I'm just doing live music. I'm just grabbing songs. Sometimes I'm learning the song right on the spot, and we're just playing. So in 2 hours, I'll be live playing some stuff on Twitch. So. But everywhere, guys, everywhere it's N64Josh. I'm the host of the Nintendo Powercast. I think there might be a few episodes of the Animal Crossing podcast coming back out. I'm not gonna go full on with it. It's just gonna be a couple episodes here and there. But just
and actually, if you type in Animal Crossing, it pops. It pops up in the feed on iTunes. It's actually up there. Man, I got replaced. I fell down. I'm a little annoyed. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork trying to steal my thunder.
I'll help you with your SEO after the show. Here. We'll get you dialed. We'll get you dialed so you're back at the top.
I was up, dude. I was number 2. Now I'm down like number 5 or 6. It's ridiculous. I'm pissed.
Oh, okay. I got you.
If you guys are listening on iTunes, please like, subscribe, or give it a like and 5-star review. Thank you. Appreciate it. But for me, you can follow me Instagram, Twitter, and on Twitch at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.